Good evening, gentlemen. Welcome to Task, Leandrew.
Hi, Leandro.
So, this evening, we've got a speaker here, and he's someone that I look up to, and I go to him for a lot of answers. And I truly, listen to what he has to say. Whenever I see him around, he's always got something good. One of the things that I like hearing from him quite a bit that I think about is, don't say you're sorry. That's not who we are. Say that you're going to do better. So I think about that quite a bit. I still step in it. I still, apologize. But it's something that I try my best to continue to do, because that's all I want to do from here on out. It's just be a better. And so with that in mind, I have the honor to introduce Toppee. So he'll be here for us to ask. And this time over, Toppee. Thank you, guys.
He looks up to me. That's first. So this is a question I've always asked myself. Can you see that? Who am I, right? Am I the same guy that I was when I first walked in here? Heavens no, right? Today, I could say what Red Barn had given me was a chance to say this, right? My heart's beating right now, but I'm a liar. I'm a cheat. I'm an adulterer. I'm a drug addict. I'm dishonest. I was a victim of all these things, right, that I encompassed in my whole life, right, that I chose to live by. And I never knew who I was, right, with all these things. 1981, I came to the United States, picked by standing refugee camp in the Philippines, right, picked from thousands of refugees to come to this great country, right, opportunity to live a good life. But that all went to crap because I made bad choices. At the age of, let's go back a little bit. Came to America. The only thing I remember coming to America was I remember the flight here, and I threw up on the person next to me. That's why I do not like to fly now. So I'm definitely afraid of heights and definitely afraid of flying, right? So, and I hold on to that because I use these little things to identify who I was, right? So coming to America, it was a culture shock. I came with my mother, my father, and my sister. My brother was born later on down the road, right here in America. So if you ever want to know who's American in our family, you just go by their names. So, name's Tukta. My father's name was Ampon. My mom's name was Beloy. My brother's name is John. So any Asian family you go to, that's how you'll be able to know who's been in America, right? So, and who was born here. But I grew up in a somewhat normal family, right? My parents, they worked their butts off, right? But what I did see, though, like, sort of hardened me a lot. I watched my father drink himself to a stupor, right? He's an alcoholic, so that's what I associated myself with. That's my identity at the time, right? Well, if he's doing it, I can do it, right? It runs in the family, so I'm going to do it, right? So I chose to use that as a catalyst to what I was going to do my whole life, right? I watched him beat my mom to a stupor. I watched them take my brother and sister hostage, my dad, right? I seen all this stuff, right? And all that stuff, right? But I still chose selfishly. Right? There's things that happen, right? in my whole life. So I chose to do wrong because that's what I thought, that's what I wanted to be. Even in school, right? I chose the wrong crowd, like we all do, because I wanted to fit in, right? I went to the Cowboys, right? Cowboy Coiner, got the jeans, got the boots, got the hat, tight jeans, wore all that. I didn't fit in there. Went to the mods, the modern people, right? What are the sort of like the punk guys, right? The modern guys, right? Those guys, right? I went to the gangsters, right? I went every which way I could to try to fit in, right? That was my whole life, right? Up until I was 18, I got my first taste of really the law, right? Got felony DUI out in Springville. First taste of reality, right? Did that change me? Yeah, but not for the good reason. I use that to identify myself again as a cool guy. Hey man, I went to jail 2 hours. Look at me. Hey man, you don't ever want to go to jail. I've done that. You know, I'm a tough guy now, right? I wasn't really a tough guy. I had to call daddy. Hey man, can you come get me out of jail? Please. All my friends left me, right? We all know how that goes when we get locked up, right? When we get into trouble, who do we call? Who do we have? Your family, right? That's it. Still, I didn't choose right. A year later, I got another DUI. And with all these choices, I didn't think of all the stuff that could have happened, right? Selfishness. That's what I was choosing at the time. I wanted to fit in so bad with everything, right? Another year later, I get another DUI. Then a week later, I get my fourth one, right? That's sort of when my life changes. Go to court, you know, doesn't reading up all these things. I think I'm doing good, trying to stand up there. And then she looks on screen like, I told you if you come to me again, you have another charge, I'm going to send you down. So away I went, right? Did that change my life? No. Again, I got out. Hey, man, guess where I've been? I didn't put any money on my books. Not that cool anymore. I didn't fit in, right? Still didn't fit in. So after all that, I knew I wasn't good at drinking. Because it took 40 years to finally realize that, right? So, and all this time I was still doing all kinds of other stuff, right? I don't want to get into all that, but it's bad behavior stuff, right? Mistakes with relationships, using women, right? Using my family, using everybody, using society as much as I can. You know, hey man, you owe me. You brought me to this country. You know what I mean? I'm a refugee. You owe me something, right? You guys don't owe me nothing, man. I owe back, right? But through all that, after those DUIs, I was getting stuff taken care of. So, smart idea. I get out. I get my wife at the time, the girl I met, Joette, I get her pregnant. So my bright thinking is like, you know what? I'm going to man up. I'm going to have a baby. So I moved to Logan, but I'm not going to take care of all my probation and parole stuff, right? Because who wants to do that? Who wants to be an adult? I didn't, you know? So I ran, thinking it'll take care of itself. That stuff, you know how that stuff goes. It doesn't take care of itself, right? Does it come back? Yeah, it comes back. But this time it came back when I already had my first child, Braxton. I'm gonna just show you this. But came back, and again, all that stuff that I left, that I ran from, came back, right? all that dirty stuff, all that lying, not living a clean filter, a value-centered life, came rushing back. What do we say here? It doesn't come out in the wash, it comes out in the rinse. It all came back, right? And now I got a 1-year-old. I'm sitting in jail, right? Took care of all that. My wife at the time helps me take care of all my core stuff, okay? 20 years, 18 years I was married, did good. But I was still using. I was still choosing me. I was still choosing Toppee. I still didn't know who I was, right? I bounced around from job to job, right? I did everything that everybody else wanted to do. I only became an electrician because I was leaving jobs because of my addiction, right? Like we always do, you know. I won't get into too much, but like I said, with all that, I got sealed. So I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. I was doing good. Got sealed in the temple, right? Got baptized. Went to church. Still trying to figure out who I am, right? Am I this LDS person? Am I this church-going person? But I'm still living the life of bad behaviors and choices, selling drugs, right? Doing drugs, doing it in the temple, doing it on baptismal font, doing that at my kid's baptism in the bathroom, right? Doing all my bad behavior stuff. Using that excuse of my dad being an alcoholic, right? That's who I am. That's Toppee. I'm screwed. This is what my life has chosen me. So this is what I have to do now. I get to be the example to everybody else, right? I've always told people, hey man, let me be examples to you. You want to do drugs? I'll show you what drugs do. Give it to me. But I do it. I want to be that cool guy. I want to be that example, right? I was living that way. That my mind, my thinking was messed up, right? Through all this, tragedy starts to happen. I lose my mom. She dies of a TTP. So if you don't realize, my thinking goes back to, oh, TTP. Those are my initials. So I caused her death. No, it's a blood disease that she died from. But I wanted people to know, nope, that was me. I killed her. So I can keep doing what I was doing, right? I can keep using drugs. So I can keep being the victim. So I can keep having people, oh, you're okay. You should do that because you lost somebody, right? That's selfish. That's monster, you know? Hey, right? Fast forward after my mom passed away, right? I'm still living the life of lying, using, right? Going to church, going to people's houses as I worked on as an electrician, right? Worked on the panel, working in their houses, using drugs in their houses, right? Taking care of their kids, right? Going to soccer games, making runs, doing all that stuff that we did, right? Because I thought I was a cool guy. I thought that's what everybody wanted, right? February 28th. That's it. I get a call. Me and my wife at the time get a call. You need to make it go to the hospital. You got to make it to Primary Children's Hospital, right? I didn't get a call. My wife did. I'm watching this. And you know when something tragic happens, right? When you see just, you know, right? So it got my son blasted. He got hit by a car on Highway 89 right by right there in Willers, right off the Flying J exit right there, right on 89. You gotta the dispatcher, the pilot, life flight was already there, right? Calls, tells my wife, you need to make it to the hospital, right? But in the background, you can hear, you can't stabilize him. He's not going to make it. And that's all I hear. And then I see her drop the phone. So this is what the cool guy does, right? This is what I did. I ran to the bathroom and I used. And I chose to be selfish. And I chose me. I didn't think about my wife. I didn't think about my kids. I didn't think about Braxton. I chose me because I wanted people to see that I lost somebody. So I used Braxton's death. I used it to fuel my addiction, right? That was a catalyst that led to everything else because I held on to that, right? So, get in a car, and Shane, this is another one. Not this Shane. Shane, this is a good one. I'm glad I have this Shane in my life too. But my other buddy Shane, he was always that rock that I had in my life, and he's the one that we got in the car. You guys believe in miracles, believe in God, whatever. We beat the life flight there from Corinne. You guys know where Corinne is, Boxmiller, right? As I was driving by, we saw the life flight take off. We beat him to the hospital. We went to Primary Children's Hospital. So we beat the helicopter there by 2 minutes. Didn't hit no traffic. It was a surreal experience, right? Again, we get to the hospital. Do I go and comfort my wife and kids? No. What do you think I did? We found a bathroom, like we all do. I can't handle this. I'm going to the bathroom. I can't do this. I can't do that, right? Not thinking about Joette, not thinking about Tyler, not thinking about Haley, not thinking about Shane, not thinking about the community. All about me, right? Because I lost. So I want to feel it. Not nobody else in this room, not nobody else in the world. All about me, right? Selfish. Selfish. So, we have the funeral, right? Do all this stuff. I'm still using. I didn't stop. I never stopped. Even when I try to tell people, like, hey man, I stopped for a month or so. I didn't stop, man. I was just getting some sleep so I can get another run at it, right? A couple years later, I get a call. Your dad just shot himself. I thought, great. Of course. What I do, right? I go into poor me, poor Toppee. Like, yay. Now's my chance. I keep using. I used. Always. It's like I always do. Right? Because that's all I knew. That's all I wanted to know. Right? I didn't want to feel nothing. For 40 years of my life, I didn't feel nothing. I didn't realize that, right? Till the barn helped me see that. Right? Till the barn helped me see. Helped me own. Helped me take hold of my life, of my integrity, of my values. Right? I know I'm all over the place, guys, so I apologize. Yes, we don't say sorry. So, so after all that, right, found myself again in a shitstorm. I'm sorry, but it's because I made this happen. I made all this happen. All the choices I made, right? Now, after this whole life of doing good, right, going in temple, everything finally came to a point in my life, right? in and out of jail again, right? Divorce, lost the house, lost the car, lost kids, lost a dog, lost a cat. You know, I drive by the house, the cat's still there. Yeah. But anyways, this thing, right? Everything came back. Everything came to a head, right? Now, what decision did I make? I don't know who I am, but what I do. So I choose again. So I choose selfishness. I choose no values. I choose no morals. Start using heavily again. Now this time I got death of my mom, death of my son, death of my dad, lost my marriage, my kids are giving up on me, lost my job, lost everything. Even the crackheads didn't want me. They're done using me. I had nothing. Roaming around my hometown in Brigham for a year, roaming homeless. Trying not to stand out, but that doesn't happen, right? We stand out like a sore thumb. You know what I mean? Right? Walk around with that 20-foot backpack on your back, right? We stand out, right? Was I embarrassed? No. I had lost all integrity. I had lost all value. I lost all morals. So I finally given up. Made my decision. I'm done. I'm ending it. Get all the just stuff I can. Right? Call Shane. Hey man, I need you to take me over, get some food. Drops me off at the Kent's over in Brigham. Right? Using them again. Using people to get what I needed. So he buys me food. This is the last time he tells me, though, this is the last time. Can't help you no more. This is it. I'm done with you. One person that stood by my side for 20, 30 years gave up on me. So what I do? Of course, I chose selfishness. Perfect. I have nobody. Now I can do what I came to do. I'll show these guys I can do it. Like I said, I had everything with me. I start walking down Forest Street. And again, you don't believe in miracles, you believe in God. To me, I do. Well, I did. I do now. Little things start happening. I walk past my home group in AA, and the door's wide open. They invite me in, so I go in. Sitting there, just sitting, listening. Not knowing, right? Done. I walk out. I go down to the park, the Bowery that I used to take my other children, my happier time in life. Go ahead and the kids, right? Where I used to take them to church functions. And this is where I'm going to do it, right? I had everything with me. Nothing happens. I lose everything. Either higher power stepped in, or maybe I'm moving too fast, right? You know how we get moving too fast and everything, like try and get ready, right? I don't know what happened. I just believe in a higher power greater than myself that it let me do this. I went to sleep. Woke up pouring rain, cold, hungry. I had to make a decision. Decision was, I was cold and hungry. And I wanted to get out of the rain. So I called Shane one last time. Same guy, I told him I'm never going to help you. Only if I went to Red Barn. So he took me to Red Barn. He drove me all the way over here, middle of the rain. I was paranoid. I thought he'd leave me here to die. That's Nicholas. I thought he'd drop me here to just, that was it. That these guys were going to do me in. Right? I was paranoid. I was scared, cold, lonely, hungry, sitting on that bench. They interviewed me. Right? I made a decision. This is how I made my decision. Nicholas came to me. You ready? I was like, oh shit, here it comes. I'm like waiting for it, right? I was waiting for it. I was like, sitting in the conference room, I was like, oh man, they're gonna do it. And there's, right? I was like, here it comes. Nicholas, I give you my trust. Thank you. He gave me his trust to come to this house to change my life. And from that point, I made a decision to stay. That one act of kindness that he gave me my trust. I lost all trust with everybody, right? Everybody in my life. And I lost trust with myself, right? That one act of kindness. And now today, and all what Red Barn has really given me, right? Besides being clean, sober, place to change my life, they gave me my mind, my soul, my morals back, and the opportunity to make a choice. And this is the only choice I made. This is who I am today. Honest, trustworthy, full of integrity, morals, values. I got a brotherhood. I have a family. I have my higher power back. I have my little girl back. But what I really have back, this guy. I know you guys can't read it, and I know you guys can't pronounce it. I have Toppee Phetsysouk back in my life. This guy right here. And that's all to Red Barn. Thank you.
I'd like to say thank you. Takes a lot of courage, to come up here, stand in front of everybody who is getting to know you, to be able to tell your story, everything that you have done. Not very many people have that hard thing to do, to be there standing in front of somebody. A lot of times we leave things out. That's because we don't want anyone to truly judge who we really are. And, you came up here and you did that. And for me, that lets me know that I'm at the right place where I can do that. And that's my goal in life, because I don't want to hang on to things. I don't want to be walking around with guilt and regret. Because all that does bring you down, just destroys you. You know what it's like, hit that rock bottom there. So thank you for that. And you've already walked through that door. I've always heard, it was told to me, there's that doorway right there. Everything that you want on life, everything that's worthwhile is just on the other side of it. You just have to find your way through that door. It doesn't have to be directly through it. It can be around it, under it, over it, whatever it takes, just to get to the other side. Right? So that's what you've done with yourself. I see it. So thank you for that. I appreciate it very much, brother.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you guys.
You have a
Shut up. First off, I want to, like, you know how much part of this story, you know, I'm sure you fit in with us, right? Like, you're huge inspiration to everyone here, you know. And one of my basically mentors since the guy, you know, you had to go with the mini program this whole time. But for some of the younger guys here, like, what would the phase of your program be? Got it, root model, start about get yourself. For me, probably when I decided to write my letter. I finally grew up. That's where it did for me, right? I finally got to be able to grow up. That's, again, Red Bar gave me that, a chance to be an adult. Jared. We I spent a whole stay with you. It's like house manager. Thank you for that I'm a very good. Thank you for your leadership. And what should I have for you? What point did you figure out here? The day the first person held me accountable, that was Nicholas again. I didn't shave. First 2 hours ago was Nicholas. He held me accountable. He wouldn't let me slide. And that's what we do here, right? We won't let each other slide because we love each other that much. I love you that much. That's why I will hold you accountable. And that's what Nicholas did for me. Mark. Fearless, worry about your own, your own value after you got here. One of my first games. One of the games being here, right? Just seeing it all, where I told myself that if I'm giving myself a fighting chance, I got to trust myself to trust these guys. That was where.
Did you ever think that Red Bar would do everything that it's done for you? No. What is your next step? You have one?
I do. Red Barn has given me everything and more. But I have to put in the legwork, right? Just as we all, right? Just not given to us. We earned it, right? And what I want to do now, I don't know. I'm not being an electrician again. I couldn't even find out why the light switch went off in the kitchen because I so love this place so much that I don't even think about that anymore, right? Then beat into my brain that you're not an electrician, you're Red Barn. So I had to call Wayne to find that switch in behind the pans. That's funny still. Anybody else? Eduardo.
What was your biggest struggle while you were here?
The biggest struggle? And my biggest struggle was letting myself have people like me and love me. It took me a long time to get here. Everybody.
So, you lost everything. Your family. What does it mean to you to have been able to reconnect with those you thought you lost forever?
And you can't put a price or anything on it. It's surreal. Mainly, as we say here, it's magical, right? Just mainly just very humbling. Ethan.
Okay, so there's guys who are sentenced here and they struggle to make it through 2 years, but you walked in on your own accord, man. And not only did you walk in, you chose to stay an additional year. What prompted that for you?
I like having friends. I like connection. You guys, I say for you guys, because you guys helped me. I'd be lost if it wasn't for you guys, right? Now, when I decide to leave, hopefully it's not anytime soon, I'm gonna be scared to death. That's why I'm trying to make as many connections as I can, right? That's what we talk about here, connection, right? Spread your wings, right? Yeah, I grew up in the program with these guys, right? I stay here for you guys, the younger ones too, because I see myself in you guys, right? I want to give back everything I'm getting, and I'll be gaining it again more. I just want to give it all away because you guys all deserve it, right? Just as much as I do. You guys are truly great men. I've been around. I don't say I get around, but I've been around a lot of different cultures, a lot of different people, a lot of different, being LDS from. I even went to a Presbyterian church. I don't even know why I went, but I've been to all kinds of different religions, cultures, right? And I just wanted a big family. That's basically what I got, right? There's a bunch of older brothers, younger brothers. I love it, man. Because right now I don't have like immediate people here. I got 2 kids, my brother and sister, and that's it. But everything else, like mom, dad, and here, is just, yeah, you guys, man. That's one of the best values and best things I've ever gained in my life up to this point is you guys.
What's the one thing that you can look forward to here at Red Barn that will put a smile on your face, carrying through, each and every day?
I tell them is the memories. Oh, okay. It's the memories we have here. You look on those tablets, you can just look at all those pictures. There are some great ones out there, man. They puts a smile on my face. There's one the one of David when we was at the at the tabernacle, right? And about to bite Trevor's head off. It's those little memories that we make, man. It's so true when they say it's a small things. It is. It's a small thing, man. One of the first memories I remember was driving in here and I saw Isaac on contract. Just like, oh man, they got good workers here. I know he was a student. I'm like, man, I think the place is clean. I thought you did this whole thing, but no, it's just the memories we make here, man. Because I love it. I remember every little thing about each and every one of you guys. You guys don't realize that. I do. Go ahead, Abdi.
I appreciate your story. It was a lot of power and knowledge. I think, I do actually believe it's saying that I am you. Or like I am like you or something like that. I need to believe that just hearing your story right now. Because standing street on the street, all the way to turn some such bad people are lost. But what kind of advice can you, younger brothers give? What kind of advice can you give us to have like that motivation, but in encourage, just continue doing what we go against you. Things get harsh sometimes around here. He's stuck in shit. It's like that. She trying to avoid, especially what advice can you?
Yeah, that's what I can give it to yourself is love yourself. Give yourself a chance. That's simple. That's simple, but it's hard, right? We're all broken, right? Give yourself a chance, man. Love yourself. Give yourself those positive affirmations, man. It sounds corny, but it works, right? Like me, I tell myself every day, I'm getting a little bit taller. Oh, there's a positive, right? There's little things like that. Care enough about yourself, guys. Okay? But I don't want to take up all the time. We got one great guy right here, man.
Let's have another round, pause for like that. And so, Chandler's here, and so he's going to share a little bit of what he's got also. And one thing about Chandler that I could always rely on is I had to be careful. I had to walk the line around. So I respect him that way. Everybody's around, find myself. Every little, but I do. I talk. I do things. I remember when he was in the kitchen, kept thinking, man, all this health food, where's all the these and then in came Neil, gave us a break. He is who he is, and I appreciate it. Without further ado, Chandler.
Yeah, Chandler. Evening, my Red Barn family.
And
I love all of you. So my story starts just, I don't know. I was born into an LDS family. I am the oldest of 4 boys. And I have one of those stories where like I had no reason to become the person I am. I wasn't set up for failure or anything like that. I just continuously made poor choices. My parents were teachers, and I remember like when my parents would go and teach, like I would hang out with my younger brother. He was my best friend. Like all of my first memories included him. And anyways, we moved to Pleasant Grove. I start going to school, and around like 4th, 5th grade, teachers start noticing that I'm struggling. Like they can't put me near the window. They can't put me near the hallway, like the door, because I couldn't, I was all over the place. Well, I mean, you know me now, like I still am, but anyways, the teacher and my parents were teachers. They suggest I go see a doctor, and I do. I was diagnosed with ADD. So there comes medication. And I didn't like it, to be honest. I hated it. I didn't feel like myself. So I didn't like taking it. I wouldn't take it. And then I get told, hey, knock it off. You're being too much. Take your medicine. I didn't like that. And to be honest, I've always had a hard time feeling accepted. And I think that's where it started. And it's crazy because like one of the things that drew me to Red Barn was the brotherhood, that feeling of acceptance. But anyways, I'm on medication, and immediately there's a change. Like I'm going from being distracted to flies in the room to I'm doing my homework in class. So I'm not taking any home. I'm getting in trouble because I'm doing my homework. Like there was just a complete change. And that's how school was. I went from being a goofball to an overachiever like almost overnight. But it wasn't really as much by choice. But I'm a good kid in school. Like I had all the friends that, were a good influence. I even got my Eagle Scout, and I'm like, I wasn't even interested. I just knew I always did what I was supposed to do. I get into high school, I'm taking college classes and everything, and like I'm always doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But around right after high school, I'm 18. My brother, who is my best friend, he's diagnosed with schizoaffective bipolar, and it was too much for me to take. Like, I'm his older brother. I'm supposed to be able to protect him, and I can't. So I decided in that moment, like, if he doesn't get sanity, if he doesn't deserve his sanity, I don't want mine. And I blame God. I took it out on myself, though. That night was the first night that I started, I started smoking weed from then on, and that's where it started. Like, my gateway was the medication, and then it was that. And I was drinking, and I didn't really breathe much of a sober breath from that point on. Anyways, I'm at UVU. Fast forward a little bit. I'm at UVU, and I'm, doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. One day, I'm out of medication, and I have a friend who, offers me something. He says, "Hey, it's the same thing. It'll be great." And, my twisted brain's like, okay, you know what? I'll try it. Or, you know what I mean? Like, if anything, it'll just help me not have to deal with life. I will be less sane. And I didn't want to be sane anyways. And it just went downhill from there. I went straight from, medication, the weed and alcohol, to hard drugs, and I spiraled real quick. I don't remember much of college. It was just a lot of, using people, sleeping around, and drugs. And as soon as I moved out to start to go to school, that's when I wasn't going to class. Like, when I moved to campus, I wasn't going to class. I was too busy doing all the things I wasn't supposed to be doing. Anyways, at one point I have to come home because I clearly can't handle myself. And I do. And I start to be more discreet about my addiction. I'm still doing it. No one's going to stop me, and they knew that. I'd tell them. I'd have violent outbursts, and I'd blame everyone else. Everyone else was the problem. I would have resentments, and I was angry at the world because of the choices I made. Because I didn't like the consequences. Anyways, one day I go to hang out with, some of the friends I was hanging out with back then. And there's an altercation. I drink into a stupor. I used to. And the next day I wake up in my car, and I'm missing teeth. My head is all messed up. I really don't know what's going on or what happened. All I know is I need to get home and get to sleep, and I do. I drive home. I don't even remember making it home. Anyways, I wake up in a hospital bed, and I had been unconscious for 10 days with internal bleeding in my brain, and I didn't know what happened. I found out kind of the story, and me being me, I thought I could take on the world, and I tried to, and I was left for dead by those friends that I trusted in the middle of, I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with Pleasant Grove, Canyon Road, one that goes up to the canyons. But yeah, I was left for dead there. Unconscious, beaten, and when I came to, just, finding out what had happened, how I thought I could trust these people who obviously I couldn't, and all this stupid things that I had done. Not that I was really deserving of, being left for dead, but anyways, that situation, it left me very bitter. And then from then on, the using, it wasn't it wasn't recreational anymore. It was out of anger. And I was an angry person from then on. It got to, at that point, it wasn't fun anymore. Like when I drank, I would wake up, or I'd wake up in jail sick, or in the hospital sick, or I had sent someone there, and I scared myself like I was a monster. And I kept using to forget my past, or forget the things I had done. But I kept on doing things that I didn't remember, that I regretted. Anyways, I move out again, and I'm using even worse than ever, but I'm trying to stop. And I meet a girl who has seen me at my worst, and she still keeps coming around, and I love that. So I stop with the hard drugs, and time goes by. Though I am still, still doing what I do, I'm sober. Don't worry. I'm just drinking and smoking pot. You know what I mean? Like that was the story I told myself. Anyways, I get married after like 2 years. I had all the intentions, of being a loving husband and starting a family, but I never put in any of the work. I was told that I was gonna, show up and provide, but I never actually did. I was still just an addict. I just wasn't using the street drugs that I was before. And I was, drinking even more. Eventually, actually a little after I got married, I woke up in the psych ward and spent a week there. And right after, I remember the only way I could get out is if I would agree to go to rehab, and I did. I spent 30 days, and I got out, and I went straight back to doing what I was doing. That was the most sober time I had under my belt before Red Barn was 30 days. And it just got worse from then on. Like, I switched from, I got back to doing hard stuff, and I didn't care. Like, I was even more of a monster on other stuff. I got more into it, and I cared more about that and sex and, just partying than I actually did, like, being the man that that I wanted to be. Anyways, it got to a point where my last arrest, my temper was just the worst. Like, I woke up, I remember I hadn't touched alcohol in a few months. I had a scan monitor on, and I had gotten it off. And I woke up in a cell, and I had no clue what I had done. I made bail still somehow. I'm pretty sure it was a mistake or something, but I did. And I had no clue what happened, and I had to read about it. And I was looking at a lot of prison time, and just due to my impulse, my anger, my, like, I just couldn't just be, like, I got to just where I was just a violent person, and I was scared of myself. And I was looking at, time in prison, and, anyways, I'm dealing with this. I'm separating, getting divorced. I really don't know what I'm going to do. I just know that I don't want to go to prison. So my plan was just to keep using until one day I didn't wake up. That never happened. I'd wake up days later, but like, obviously, I'm still here. I had a lawyer eventually reach out to me, my lawyer, and encouraged me, told me about Red Barn and the Other Side Academy. I still wasn't interested. I just didn't want to be anymore. Until I reconnected with a friend who was going through some similar stuff. And she had encouraged me to come here. And I just thought, what do I have to lose at this point? And I did. So in fact, I actually went and interviewed at the Other Side Academy. And then I came here. And I remember sitting on that bench, seeing a bunch of, guys tatted up, they're stand-up guys. Like they're saying, they're holding each other accountable. They're asking each other for help. Like I felt the camaraderie from that bench. I felt the brotherhood from that bench. And that's what made me stay initially. Like, that's what I wanted. I wanted a sense of belonging. And that's what I had found here. And I stuck around, even when I shouldn't have, because I still had, that mentality come out several times, and I could have gotten kicked out, like Nicholas and Shane were saying, like, we've had guys on the bench, like everyone on the bench. I was one of those guys. I could have gotten kicked out. And it starts with something like that. But all it takes is to just never give up. Every day, you just have to keep on waking up and making it to your pillow. But yeah, that's what I got. Thank you, guys.
Well, thank you for that, Chandler. And, I'm pretty sure some of the guys have some questions. And one question I have is, what do you do now to center yourself or you're feeling any kind of anxiety, whatever it is, what is it you do? Find control, relax.
I have a few different tools. I never was really good at the meditating or the journaling, but I found connecting with you guys has helped a lot. It helps me get out of myself. And I found that exercise helps me turn off everything up here, puts my mind at peace.
Anybody else have any other questions?
Ethan?
So 9 months in, and you restarted. That's a lot of time. But what motivates you to stay? And more than that, like I look at the last couple months of your stay here. You went and told John and Nicholas, like, I want to be more involved, younger guys, and then ultimately becoming the intern and kitchen manager. Man, like what prompted you to stay, and what prompted you to double down and invest more in the program side?
What prompted me to stay is, like, I had already spent 9 months here regardless. Like, I had spent 9 months here regardless. I would have thrown, like, that time away if I had walked away. Like, whether I had made progress or not, that was still an investment that I had put into changing myself. And your other question, I remember feeling a void when we had a kitchen manager that left, and I felt it. I felt it in the house, and I wanted to just know what I could do to help. And I went to John, and he told me to start getting up and helping with breakfast, and I did. And it was the coolest thing because, like, connecting with you guys in the mornings, like, that made my day. Like, that was like that being the beginning of my day. Like, I had gone through 2 intern phases, so I know what it's like. So I get to connect with you guys and give you a little bit of whatever kept me around. You know what I mean? Like, that was that. I wanted more of it, and I kept voicing it. I didn't care what jobs I got. Like, I wanted more of that. So I kept on asking for those kind of roles. Copy. What advice did you give to the older guys that are coming up on their decisions? How do you how do I decide? Yeah. I seeked counsel, and ultimately I made the choice. I made the choice that I thought was going to be best for me. Because it's your choice, but it's important with us being who we are to seek counsel for everything, because our choices got us here.
How much of what being in some sort of a Sprite community or Red Barn is going to be a part of your life once you move on to a new job? And how's that going to work?
So I want to keep on doing what we do here. Like, I really do. I just want to make it into a career. That's really the best way I can put it. Dustin.
Biggest thing you took from Red Barn?
The connection, and the sense of belonging. Like, kind of like Toppee said, like, all of those memories that I've had with all of you guys. Like, I wouldn't trade those for anything. Even, like, I wouldn't trade it for the past. I love it. Angelo.
You're at Red Barns, you was like on the verge of giving up, or it was like one of the hardest times. What did you gain the most when you had to self-reflect at that moment? Like, what did you gain?
Acceptance, resilience, more time that I needed, whether I wanted it or not.
Chandler, you mentioned that you struggled with some anger, and it sounded like that was a big challenge for you, a big part of who you was. So what did that look like? You seem like a really calm person to me. You always have since I met you. So what did that look like? How did that change, and how do you do in that regard right now as far as anger?
Accountability is how it changed. Like, when I was the victim, I was always angry because I could always blame someone else. You know what I mean? And it was always out of my control. Like, as soon as I realized that I make my choices and I'm accountable for everything I do, that put me in control of my emotions. Because I didn't have to look outward for anything. Like, I got me here. I did everything. I did it all. You know what I mean? And that's all on me. But I can learn from it. Shane.
What kind of advice would you give guys that are coming up on their senior tree?
Get with Shane and Nicholas and John, like, just really, like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity to just everything, just put it to bed. All those skeletons. Like, I would take counsel on like how to really go about it, because you only get one senior retreat here, and you can be as free as you want to be, and it's all up to you. And like these guys back there, they can guide you through that, and like you can have a really freeing experience, or you can feel like you could have done more and you could have missed out.
What would you recommend or advise this all of us brothers on maintaining a positive attitude?
Look for the good. I know in our program, we're always looking for that 2% in each other and how we can do better. And that's awesome, because we can always do better. But don't forget to look in the good, like look for the good in everything as well. Like, just because there is that 2%, that doesn't dismiss the rest of it.
Oh, thank you, Chandler. Listening to your story, and then, Toppee earlier, one of the things that stuck out was trust, and when I first came here, trust was something I questioned whether or not here I could trust. And for me, one of the things I wanted to share this, I haven't, is I started gaining trust. You asked me whether or not I was okay that time out on grinder, and I started cramping up. They brought it up to stop tension, and the both of you come to me and make sure that I was okay. And so that's when I was able to allow myself to trust this place, Red Barn, everybody else that was here ahead of me. That opened the door for that. And for that, I want to tell you thank you, and I appreciate that you're here. It's always a good thing to see you. So thank you again. I appreciate it. Thank you. That's fast, guys. Appreciate it.